Well, greetings everybody. Yeah, I just thought I'd get the camera out and give you guys another update of what's going on. Arm's healing okay. I'm still in the sling. As you can see, there's the strap on my hand. And I can use my hand very limited, no weight bearing yet. But the surgery on my elbow, to connect my bicep was, went through pretty well, and it's healing pretty good. I've been at home now for the last couple of weeks, and for 2 weeks now, and things have been kind of difficult learning to do things with one hand, and actually functioning. But I'm kind of tough to do it that way, but I'm getting by. I've had some interesting things going on the last couple of days, especially last Saturday. I had my sister and some relatives over to help out, do some things around my house. And somebody went through my the cab of my truck and looking for something probably to steal, but that was a little disturbing. They did it while everybody was here at the house. There were multiple people at the house. We were in and out of the house all day, but people were here, and they got pretty brave if they decided to go up and go through the truck while somebody was here. And my sister, she went outside, and somebody took off away from the truck and left the dome light on. So it was after dark that they were in the truck. But people were still busy and going in and out of the house quite a bit. So it's kind of bizarre that somebody would do that while people are there. That means they're getting kind of brave. I don't live in a big city where it's common for people to do stupid things like that and break into homes, but apparently it's been getting a lot more common. Talk to the police today. Prompted me to call the police today is I had somebody pry open 2 of my storm windows on one of my bedrooms. The bedroom they tried to get in you can see it from the street, but my truck blocks I got a truck that partially blocks one of the windows. So they can go back and, they went back and tried that one, obviously, but I guess they couldn't get the inside window open because that's locked down pretty good. But that didn't stop them from at least prying one of the windows open and trying to get in. And they did that to 2 windows. One of the windows, they bent the frame of the storm window, so now it actually doesn't close all the way correctly. Well, that happened sometime this morning, probably before the sun came up or shortly after, but it happened this morning while I was in the house. I was probably asleep when they did that. People, my neighbors especially, they know I'm home. They know that somebody's here almost all the time. But they were brave enough to try to get into my house while I was in it. People that are willing to try to break into your house while you're there, that's actually not good, because they tend to, if they do that, then that tells me they're willing to try to do possibly bad things. If they're willing to break into your house while you're there, then they'll have no problem hurting you if you try to stop them. It's people like that you've got to really worry about. Those are the ones that are scary. Like I said, when they're brazen enough to want to break into your house while you're home, then they are willing to do whatever it takes to rob you or steal something from you. And they don't care if they hurt you or do something really bad. They just don't care. Those are the people you really got to worry about. Those are the ones that we absolutely have to watch out for. Especially being disabled, and my neighbors all, they've seen me out in a wheelchair anyway, or on my crutches when I could use my arm. So my neighbors are keeping an eye out. I talked to the police tonight, and they're going to have extra patrols around, so that at least makes me feel a little better. But if it wasn't for my dog, sounds like somebody probably would have already broken in my house recently, very, very recently. Because my dog does keep a pretty good eye out. He's got great hearing, and he has no problem barking at somebody if they, if somebody knocks on the door or somebody comes up and tries to get inside and he doesn't recognize the sounds. He'll bark, which is good because he'll probably scare him off. But if I'm home, he'll usually only bark if somebody rings the doorbell or knocks on the front door. He won't necessarily make noise if he hears other noise in the house, because I've got my vacuum cleaner runs automatically at certain times of the morning. So if you hear that, or any other noise, he might just think it's the vacuum running. Yeah, I got a closed circuit TV system that I'm installing, so that'll have night vision on it when I finish getting that put together. But it's going to be few before I get that up and running. It's going to be nice once that's done, at least, because then if somebody does mess with anything, I can go back and look at the recording of it and say, okay, look, this is who it was, and I can hand that over to the police, and maybe they can see about taking care of it. Because until you can get proof of them doing it, the police won't do anything. They can't. They just don't have the resources. I just really hate it to come down to waking up in the middle of the night and finding somebody inside my house. That'd be bad, because for one, that puts me at risk, puts my dog at risk, and if I protect myself, then it could put them at risk, and that could be bad, very bad legally for everybody involved. Financially, it could be devastating, especially if I do anything to stop them and hurt them, and they still have laws out there that the victims can still sue you for protecting yourself, and that's ridiculous. That's something that's got to absolutely change. And in fact, glad I live in America, and we do have, in one of the states I live in, or the state that I live in, they have castle doctrine. So I am allowed legally to protect my house and everybody in it. So if somebody breaks into my house, I can do whatever I have to stop them, and I'm within my full legal right. I just hate it if I lived in a country where I wasn't allowed to do that. England is a good example. They've made it illegal for anybody to protect themselves. If the police don't protect you, then you're not allowed to. I'm sorry, unless they make police a little smaller so I can easily carry one around, or I can have one with me as a personal bodyguard 24 hours a day, the police aren't going to cut it. They can come after the fact. They'll get there after the fact. But if they can't get there within the first minute, the first 30 seconds of somebody breaking into your house, you're pretty much on your own. Because it's not going to take somebody 2 or 3 minutes, that the police might take to your house to decide whether or not they want to hurt you. They're going to do it right away. If you try to stop them or confront them, they're going to do whatever they can to either get away or finish stealing whatever they came in to steal. And who knows, maybe why they're in your house is looking to hurt somebody. You don't know their intentions, and we can't really determine that until we know for a fact. Everybody, you got to take care of yourselves. If you're disabled, make sure you've got good lighting at night. Make sure that you got your neighbors know to keep an eye out around people, for people that are roaming around your place. Of course, keep an eye out for your neighbors as well. That's the best thing you can do, because your neighbors are your closest protection, your closest surveillance to other people watching out for you. My neighbors across the street from me that have good view of my house, I know I can trust them. They're good people. They could actually, I told them tonight, if you see anybody you don't recognize poking around my house on my property, call the police. We'll figure it out later, but call the police. Let the police know so the police can come by. And if the police come knocking on my door and say, "Hey, your neighbor called us because someone was snooping on your property," well, at least then I'll know what's still going on. I got at least an idea of maybe who it is, because they can give somewhat of a description of the person. Of course, once I get my whole camera system set up, then that won't be a problem. I'll have a recording of it, so I can go back and look at the recording and just hand it to the police and say, "Here, this is who it was. Go find him." It's just a real shame that you have to resort to something like that. To spend the money on a security camera system just so you can try to feel safe in your own home. Your home is your castle. Your home is where you're supposed to be safe. For somebody that's disabled, your home is everything to you. Because if you can't live by yourself and be safe, what are you going to do? I certainly am not going to end up in a nursing home just so I can feel somewhat safe. Some of the biggest tragedies against disabled people happen in nursing homes. people get abused often when they're in a place like that or assisted living. But I'm still capable of functioning on my own for the most part. There's just certain things I can't do. And I'll get some more of that functionality back as I get my arm back and get it build up the strength again. But you've got to be able to have a place where you're safe and where you don't feel intimidated or scared to live. If you do, then that adds extra stress on it, and that makes life even harder. And if you have other health problems, it takes a toll on your health. Chronic pain, stress makes chronic pain worse. It's just something that's really been irritating and bothering me today, but it's also telling me I'm just going to have to keep a better eye out on what's going on. If I notice any weird sounds at all, I need to go ahead and just call the police if I definitely know that's not my vacuum cleaner or something like my refrigerator or dishwasher. But if it's not something that's a normal sound, maybe I just need to call the police and have them come check it out. It wouldn't be good for me to go out and poke around and confront them because, like I said, if they're willing to hurt somebody or potentially hurt somebody to steal something, they're certainly going to go after somebody that's in a wheelchair as easy prey. And like I said, all just bad things happen after that. Can't do that. Yeah, well, it's kind of my vent, or my vent today. A little update on what's going on, but everybody, well, I hope everybody has at least a little more enjoyable and have a safe week. Hopefully you're getting decent weather finally, and hopefully spring, which is almost a month late, actually gets here. That'll be good. And like I said, then I can get out and do more and maybe make some more creative videos. Well, I'm going to have to end this recording. This camera is getting a little on the heavy side right now, and since I'm down to working with one arm for a while, I kind of need to avoid tennis elbow. So, you take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll throw another video out here soon. All right, thank you. Bye.